Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live to the Kayak Bass Nation. What's up, Ryan? You got a special road studio. You've been in some wild places, but this might take the cake tonight.
I haven't had a really crazy thrown together road game in a while, so we're on a dove hunt, and Co was nice enough to let me use his tour bus to do the podcast. So coming at you live from Co's tour bus.
Yeah, Co Wetzel's tour bus. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, who would have guessed?
Yeah, that's awesome. Did y'all have a good hunt today? You said.
Yeah, we shot like 240 birds. It was pretty solid for a Monday, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, the Wi-Fi's holding up. You're looking good in there. You look pro. That looks like maybe the future KBN Road Studio. Who knows what will
I'm saving up, man. I'm saving up. I feel like these might be a little pricey. I don't know.
We need people to buy more Yak Addict stuff.
Jinxed it.
Yeah, did you hear that? I said we need people to buy more Yak Addict stuff to get you that tour bus.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we're going to do a Yak Addicts giveaway tonight. I got a screenshot of some of their gear right there. It's kind of grainy straight off the page. But Yak Addicts, yakaddicts.com, that's a Shopify store, right? It's got tons of not only Yak Addicts gear, but some KBN gear, right?
Yeah, that is correct. I'll send you a KBN, the Nation hat, as you see Jeff wearing, and a Yak Addicts t-shirt for the giveaway tonight.
There you go. So you guys know the deal for the giveaways. We do a like and share on Facebook. Make sure you go like the Yak Addicts page too, and then just comment on Twitch or YouTube, leave a comment and like the stream, and we'll be good to go there. We appreciate y'all jumping on here with us. I know it's the debut of Monday Night Football tonight, so
that's tough.
That's tough. I was sitting there watching pregame for the Jets Bills and thought, ooh, it's quite a conflict, but that's all right. We appreciate those that are here. It may up your odds to win something.
Are you doing any fantasy teams this year? No.
I did fantasy football for years and years.
One, and then every player on my team just kind of shit the bucket. So
yeah, I saw
good start.
Our boy John Allen said he hates fantasy football. That was like on the afternoon of day one on Sunday. Yep. So
same, John. Same.
Yeah, brutal. And of course, week 2 of college football's in the books. Our teams won, but they're kind of limping around. They're limping out the gate.
I can sympathize. It's okay to limp sometimes.
Yeah, you got to limp to get stronger. That's how it goes.
That's right. Do we have what do we have on the page this week? Anything crazy?
No, nothing really crazy. I shared a funny picture today from the folks over at Wilderness Systems. Did you see that one?
I did see that. Yes, I did.
How do you let something like that slip out with an upside down spinning reel?
Buddy, I don't know. I mean, I don't really think it's going to hurt the reputation too much, so I'll keep rolling with it.
Bless them. For those that don't know, I've been around this thing a little bit and got my start over there on the Wildy team way back in the day, back in the early 2010s, like 2013, 2014. How things have changed. They used to be one of the biggest, baddest teams around.
Oh, yeah. Our own Shane Williams was a Wildy partner with you.
Yeah, Wayne
Watt.
Honestly,
man, the Attack is arguably one of the best, fishing kayaks made still today, as far as, ease of rigging and speed. Like, it's great with a motor. I think they had a lot going. I think once they went down the pedal drive rabbit hole, that was really kind of the undoing of Wildy, I feel like.
Yeah, Russ, our Bassmaster AOY leader, still fishes out of that attack that he has.
Yeah.
It's an older attack. He still does damage in that thing when he can't pedal. So we're using motor. So there you go. Yeah, I love the attack. That was one of my favorite platforms. But wow, that was a wild image the marketing department chose to roll with. But we appreciate it. It was funny. We got to laugh. So. Yes, Dwayne, you are the only one watching on LinkedIn, but we appreciate you. Dwayne Wally, also another former Wildy guy
We're
over
on
there.
LinkedIn.
I told you that before, man.
Can you take it off? That's I have a real job over on LinkedIn.
I got a real job too. I got a real LinkedIn profile. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to stream us to as many locations as possible. We're up to 8. We're going to 8 locations now.
LinkedIn. How's the Road Dogging podcast going?
It's doing good, man. Yeah, it's doing good. It pulled, I think, 300 and something views on YouTube in the first week, which is, it wasn't live streamed. It was just a straight up post. And then the audio podcast is pulling really good numbers. Awesome. Jordan said he wants to start doing live, going live some, not just pre-recording. So look out for that.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, he's looking at it every other Wednesday basically to go live, kind of like we do. But that'd be even more fun because
he got second in the Tennessee Bass State Championship that he won last year. Ethan Jett, fellow Dugout teammate, took the W down on Gunnersville. They freaking wrecked him. I don't know if you looked at the numbers, but they were mid to high 180s there with several, good 90-inch plus bags per day to get you in the money. So Gunnersville is on fire right now if anybody's looking for a place to go fish.
Yeah, good stuff. Jordan doing his thing. He was mad about how he performed. I'm like, dude, you finished. I mean, you won a bunch of money. You did fine.
That's Marshall. I didn't win by quarter inch, but dang it.
Yeah, dang it. So I saw, this last week we got a couple of Elite Series. The Elite Series schedule dropped. I'm not sure if the MLF schedule dropped. So that got people to talking about when our kayak schedule is going to start dropping. When do you think we'll see them? Here pretty soon? A month or two?
I think so. I mean, talking with Steve-O, it seems like everything's pretty much buttoned up. Some ink on some paper at a spot or two, but I think he's got it hammered out pretty well. So I'm sure we'll see a pretty solid, complete schedule for next year.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get a look at all of them as they come out. See if that Native Series expands. See if Bass expands. Of course, BLS is gonna have a good schedule. Just got this photo.
Do they need to expand?
Got a little photo update from Steve-O. Here's a picture of all the winners. There you go.
Do you think they need to expand? I mean, at what point is enough saturation-wise? I feel like
bass?
We have enough in general. Either series, there's only so many weekends in the year, and I think 5 or 6 events is pretty solid. I think the more you try to do, we've seen this model with other entities before. Like if you try to just do too much, you end up hurting yourself overall because it's just too much to keep up with.
Yeah, how many opens Bass have this year? Is it 5 or 6 this year?
I think it's 5 this year.
Yeah, I'd like to see 6. I'd like to see 6, max 7 maybe, but no, I don't think they need to go like 9, 10, 12. I mean, that's what happened. You remember Kayak Bass Series? We got our start fishing there when they had that. That's what happened to them. They had a pretty good thing going with like 6 events, and then tried to go to regions and blew it up real fast. And that was one of many problems, but they tried to get too big too fast. So yeah, you got to be careful there. But yeah, I like what Bass is doing. I don't think Hobie needs to go any bigger. The Native Series, I don't think it really matters for them because they're all one-offs. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're all just one-offs.
I don't think that would hurt to add more events, and I think it's enough of a change of scenery. You're not just continuing to fish the same old 5-fish format tournaments. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but I think it gives people something a little different to look for. Like, maybe you're a guy that is really good at finesse fishing or catching numbers or something. That's going to be a lot more appealing to you, on that MLF style than just a big 5-fish bag.
Yeah, Joe Mack on YouTube says 9 with 6 of them in Texas would be perfect for bass if we could pull that off.
Thanks, Joe Mack. I don't have that many miles left on my tires, so probably can't make that happen.
You also had another great idea, which is first time Jordan goes live, we need to go troll the comments on Jordan's live instead of sitting here taking bullets like we do in the comments.
Love it.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. We got our Dog versus Raptor on Twitch. Always comes in, at least chimes in and says he's got a roll. He'll listen to the pod later. He'll come in for a few minutes and then bounce and listen to the pod later. So that's awesome.
Just so we know it's working over there.
Yeah. So we got one over there still. I don't know if that's him or not, but hey, we appreciate you over there with the gamers. There he is. We can hang with this bouncing in and out. It's fine.
Buddy,
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Hey, with that said, let's get Greg in here while we still have you live and in person. Mr. Dipalma, GDP. How you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for coming in here with us. I don't know if you probably didn't see the intro. Ryan is in a remote location. He's on Co-Wetzel's tour bus after shooting doves down there in Alabama somewhere.
In the middle of nowhere in Alabama. So if I drop, I do apologize.
Very nice. Okay, good.
Yeah. But, first of all, how you doing, sir?
I
wore out, long season?
No, I just want to keep going, to be honest with you. I hate stopping. You got all the momentum going through the whole entire season, and all of a sudden it's like a screeching halt.
Yeah.
You know?
How's your year going on the big boat side?
I finished 51st in the points this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that was going to be...
Keep you employed.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the biggest part.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that first, man. You want to give us a brief rundown of how you felt about your Elite Series year? Because I know I would call it solid, not spectacular for you. You probably wanted to do a little better, but you really, you finished right there in the middle of the pack, did good, cash some checks.
You know what's crazy, man? If you go back and look at the points, it's still very tight. I had one bad event this year. I came in 100th place on Lay Lake. If you take that down to like even an 80th, I made the classic. I mean, it was that tight the entire season. You just can't have a bad event anymore. That's just all it comes down to.
When I looked at the standings, to be honest with you, you became Kayak Angler's favorite Elite Series by default since you fished the Kayak Series too. We're all following. So I followed how you did, and looking at your finishes, I assumed you made the classic.
Yeah, no.
And then I didn't see you in the field, and I looked back and saw that one event that you're talking about. That one event. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you had several top 25s, several top 50s. I mean, that's usually enough, isn't it?
Yeah, usually. Not no more. It's like a new age anymore. The fishing community that I fish against is just, they're the best. You can't slip.
Not to pour salt in an open wound, but I'm actually on Lay Lake right now. We're in Wilsonville, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Ironically enough, yeah.
It's all good. After the tournament, I actually went back out just to kind of, try to catch a few more fish, but it didn't really do too much better. But there's no salt. After doing this for all the years I've done it, dude, it literally was like you got a bad event, no big deal. You just get it the next day.
You got to shake it off.
That's it. You have to.
What's your opinion? We've seen all this controversy over forward-facing sonar and it being in my mind, I think you would have such a hard time justifying banning some new evolutionary technology. Like, how do you say that's enough? Like, these huge brushless electric trolling motors.
Ryan's going to pop in and out because of his tour bus situation, but you kind of get the gist of what he was saying there.
Yeah, I heard most of the question. First off, I don't believe technology is even a debate. At this level, all of us guys all have the same stuff. Different companies all have the same stuff. LiveScope's been out since 2015, so now this is finally popping up now.
Yeah, I wonder, is it just because it's become more widespread, more refined, technology's better? Do you think that could be a part of it?
I just think in the public eye, everybody's starting to finally see the power of it. Because everybody's kind of almost relying on it. A smallmouth tournament, if you're not doing it, then you're probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Just because of the way we're catching them.
See if we get Ryan. There he is. He's back. The kid's back. We got you, buddy. It's okay.
Oh boy.
We're gonna deal. His answer was yes, ban it. Ryan, you didn't hear that? No, it was not.
I pretty much said it's not even a debate. It's way back when they had a flasher, 2D sonar came out. That's a game changer. And then with the side imaging, it just keeps on going. 5 years from now, it's going to be something even different.
Right. Yeah. Did you see there was a video Todd Castledine did a week or two ago? I think it was Todd Castledine. Pretty sure it was about it was an average. He went into some of the reasons people are upset is they feel like that forward-facing sonar is phasing out the experience and the skills you develop over time as an angler. And he used the average age of winners and top finishers as an example. And it's like dropped all the way down to 28 years old through the opens and the elites or something like that. I forget the series. He may have used the opens and elites, but rather than 10 years ago, the average age of the winners was 46. So it's almost a 20-year difference. And he's saying technology is playing a huge factor, and that's the deal. And that's why people are upset, especially the not old, but older generation. Like, hey, you're taking all the skills and instincts and things like that out of it. Do you think that's a real thing, or is that just a kind of an excuse on top of the technology?
It's both. It's real and excuse. So here's the deal. So all them guys that are just extremely well at fishing naturally would embrace forward-facing sonar, to me, they'd be ahead of the young generation again, because they have both sides of the coin.
Right.
It's
a little bit of stubbornness, perhaps.
Correct. 100% stubbornness. Yep. I know a few of them guys. I've talked to them.
Yeah. So you hear that out there.
Oh yeah. I hear it all. We hear it all.
Yeah. Frankly, I'm one of those guys on the kayak side.
Yeah.
I've got scope capable units, and I won't put it on there. I won't do it. So
yeah, you're gonna have to cross over. I would say like 5 years from now, every freaking kayak and John boat and big boat out there is gonna have it, just because it's getting to be that part of the sport.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I know that it can burn you as much as it can help you if you don't know what you're doing with it, when to apply it, things like that. But when it's the deal, and you better be playing, like you said, on the smallmouth fisheries.
Yeah, I tell everybody with it, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to use it, when not to use it.
Very good, very good. Brian's he's in and out, he's having trouble, but that's okay. I can carry if we need to.
Okay, good.
Greg, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. One of the things that we won't stay on this very long, but somebody in the comments, and you've probably heard this too, people worry about the viewership. It's boring to watch. To a somewhat already kind of like golf. It's kind of boring to watch golf on TV. Sometimes it can get boring to watch fishing, depending on the coverage. Do you think that's a thing? Is it boring to watch someone catching them on live scope?
I don't. And the reason I'm going to say this is because, all this came about from the last 3 smallmouth tournaments, when in reality, a lot of times when you're smallmouth fishing prior to live scope, we use 2D sonar. You drop straight down on their head. You're still floating out in the same areas, but it's just a different concept. But you're always staring down. It's not really that much different. Next year for the Elite Series, for our St. Lawrence event, we're actually launching out of Waddington. So if you want to go to the lake for that tournament, you're going to have to go the 80-90 mile run. But with that being said, it's extremely hard to live scope smallmouth in current. So a lot of the guys on that tournament are still going to just be fishing, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I don't see that as an excuse for viewership, because even if you're going down a grass line, your head's down and you're fishing. It's no different to me.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to stay on it too long. I got a few questions from YouTube. We'll jump on about that. Ethan Robertson says next year's elite schedule, which just came out, seems like it's geared towards, or could be fit non-FFS users better. What do you think of next year's schedule? Is that true? Think they can employ some shallow stuff, or is it going to play just as much?
It's going to play a lot. It's going to play on Fork. It's going to play on Toledo. It's going to play on all them. Unless you're fishing, even in grass, you can use it. But like you figure Fork and Toledo, standing timber, perfect scenario for forward-facing sonar. Obviously, the smallmouth events, Champlain again. It can play at every single event. It just depends on who figures out how to use it.
Yeah. And then also from YouTube, Chris Cabral says, does Greg think forward-facing benefits boats or kayaks better, or is it equal?
I'm going to say it can be equal, but I'm going to say a boat more than a kayak, just because I feel like with a kayak, like I said in the very beginning, it's hand-to-hand combat. You can get down and just fish out of a kayak and still do really, really good.
Yeah. And this is more of a comment than a question. Steve Dunlap, make it possible where the better view of the scope, so we can see live what you're looking at with everybody, regardless of brand. Make it better.
That's probably going to happen. I'm going to have to agree. I think that's going to happen with our sport.
Yeah, because obviously, if you're the person looking at it and you're watching the fish react, you're tuned in and excited. But if we could also see it as people sitting here watching the live stream, I'm sure it'd be a lot more.
I've seen some pretty crazy stuff on that screen that the viewers haven't seen. I've seen fish go down in my bait, and I see the tail waving back and forth before it sucks it up. It's just, I've seen so many cool things. If they can portray that on Bassmaster screen, it's going to be pretty cool.
We got the live stream viewers climbing. We appreciate it, because we know we're up against Monday Night Football debut tonight, Jets and Bills. So if you're watching both, we appreciate you. The numbers are climbing over here. Ryan was with us. He is on Co Wetzel's tour bus, and he was trying to do the stream from the tour bus with sketchy Wi-Fi in the middle of nowhere, Alabama. So he had to slip off, but we're still gonna get into this with Greg Dipalma. So I need the people watching to help me carry the show by asking good questions that we can feed on here to Mr. Dipalma.
Yes.
So solid Elite Series season, sir. But really, what we wanted to have you on here for is to talk about kayak fishing, because you are a full blown kayak angler. You're neck deep into the AOY race. You're sitting in third right now. So first, what have you thought about your first year truly, competing on the kayak circuit?
I think it brought a lot of fun back for me. Fishing's always been fun, even at the Elite Series level. But I feel like the stress level of the Kayak Series for me is not there at all. I just feel like I'm just at home fishing, to be honest with you. That's just how I feel. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned stuff that I had no idea about as far as fishing out of a kayak. Honestly, a lot of people told me in the very beginning it's going to make you fish different, to learn more stuff. And they're right. I've actually learned some stuff, and I applied it to the bass boat side. The biggest thing for kayak fishing that I can tell you that I learned, period, is how to really refigure out how to catch them again because of movement. You can't move a lot.
Right. Yeah. We've heard that from a couple of folks, like when we had Ike on in the past, talking about learning to be a little bit more patient, going back to your roots a little bit, right? You can't just you can, but it's going to cost you a lot of time, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of these lakes we fish. It's pointless to even do it. I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot trying to do it.
Yeah. We got some good questions that are coming in. Joe on YouTube said we're going to make Ryan expendable. We're going to help you with the questions. So there we go.
Very good.
He also said, did the elites not get a drop? Yeah, I think they were saying that sarcastically. You know how we get the drops in the kayak series. So
we actually do have a drop. We haven't used it this year because we have a COVID drop. It's in our rules. If somebody gets COVID, every person except for the guys competing for AOI up top don't get the drop. But this year there was no incident COVID.
Got some good questions coming in about the kayak series. Corey Racer on Facebook. Will you be fishing the kayak? It's not called the Kayak Classic, for God's sakes. It's the Kayak Bass Series Championship, Corey. But will you be fishing that?
100%.
100%. So you're in that whether you win the AOI or not. You're in.
Yeah.
I guess especially now there's no conflict. I guess that's the other side of
even if there was, I believe that tournament goes on during the week of practice of the. So if I qualified for both, my plan was to fish both.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then Calvin Johnson on YouTube, are you planning on fishing a full kayak schedule? I guess you did this year. Are you going to do it again next year?
I missed one this year. I missed Possum Kingdom at the same time as Sabine River. If there's not conflicts, yeah, more than likely, yes.
Elvis said he'd love to see you and I go head to head on a kayak tournament.
I'm sure we can arrange that.
Did you put him on him and put it on him in the elites AOY race this year? Were y'all neck and neck there? It's pretty close, I think.
He was just ahead of me.
Was he? Dang it. Yeah. I was looking at that earlier. I think you, Seth Fighter, G-Man, you guys were all right there in a little wad of points. So good company. Good company. Let's see here. Brandon Palmer on YouTube. Has fishing from a yak helped you hold on to an area a little bit longer in a bass boat? Yeah, it's kind of what I touched on. For sure, it definitely has. There's been a few times I actually talked to my buddy on the phone about this, where I told him I did really well in these two events. And he goes, why'd you do so much better this time or something like that? And I said, to be honest with you, dude, I said, because I fished out of a kayak this year. And it just kept me in there to keep on fishing for the fish and refigure out how to catch them. So yes, without a doubt. Steve Owens, he clarified that Wednesday and Thursday for the kayak championship. Mark Cisneros, Big Worm, said GDP is one of us.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Ethan, he says, what a pain having to fish this Sabine and Miss PK.
I'll tell you, I like the Sabine, man. Where I grew up at here in Millville, there's a river called the Morris River. It is a spitting image of it. It really is. I feel right at home fishing that place.
Yeah, we got a little bit of breaking news, red alert here. We've got a tag in. We've got a sub. We've got a sub. We've got our other podcast host, Jordan Marshall, came in. Did Ryan text you, or did you come off my message, Jordan?
A little bit of both, actually. I saw the group text was going down about the time. I was like, y'all good? Because I watched it and I made sure Lambert was going. And then about the time I was like, hey, can you hop on? And I was like, so I'm like running. I got like one shoe on, one shoe off. I think I lost a shoe between here and the house, but we're rocking and rolling. So
man, I can always count on you, Jordan.
Try my best.
If I see 10 kayak posts on my Facebook, 9 of them are this guy's face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winning tournaments and doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best, man. I'm just out here, road dog. We out here hanging out, rocking and rolling.
Oh yeah.
So Jordan's the host of our new pod on KBN, which is Road Dogging, and that the aptly named because this man burns up the roads. He fishes more. It's got to be more tournaments than anybody else in the country, right, Jordan?
So I'm gonna probably hit like 50 this year. I'm flirting around with the upper 30s right now. I'm actually taking a much needed off week this week to watch the Vols dominate the Florida Gators with the Knoxville guys. So I'm probably just jinxed it now that I said that. But yeah, I've got a bunch more. I mean, the good thing about the kayak tournaments is that, as soon as they kind of stop, or really before they even stop for the year, they start up. We've got local events that start the 2024 season in October before TOC even happens. But I did get a chuckle. I was trying to listen to it on the way up here to make sure I didn't repeat anything that already been said about Greg fishing a full schedule. I was like, I don't know whose schedule he's fishing, but I know it ain't mine.
Yeah, not your full schedule. My full schedule would kayak be 5 or 6 max.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Jordan, I appreciate you, man, coming over.
Yes, sir. Anything for the boys.
I was going to carry, but hey, I always take the help, so that's good.
Anything for the boys.
Yeah. We've got quite a few folks in here. We're doing a Yak Addicts giveaway tonight. Don't forget that. All you got to do is like and share on Facebook, and like and comment over on Twitch and YouTube. And we got you. We'll choose that at the end. We got some questions piling up here. Jordan, I don't know if you have anything specific for Greg, but I wanted to ask him some stuff once we get through these YouTube comments about some of the media coverage and how what can kayak anglers learn from the Bass pros on how they interact with the media. We had the camera guys on last week. We had Shane Durant's and Mark Cisneros on talking about behind the scenes stuff and the photos they take out there. Well, Bassmaster, they make their money with the coverage of the elites and all the live streaming, all the photos, all the stuff on the Bassmaster magazine. So what have you learned over there that you could give some kayak anglers some tips, Greg, on how they could be better prepared for the camera? Your boat, your kayak's wrapped, your truck's good to go. Is that the kind of stuff they need to be doing?
Yeah, we talked about it in the past. If you're going to go that full extent of doing the wrapping stuff, make sure it's worth it for yourself. Just don't do it for free. But besides that, I actually do a lot of interaction with my sponsors. I take Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, for example. They have a camera guy that does a lot of their social media stuff. He's down here all the time, every week. We do on the water stuff, promotion stuff. It's not a one-way street. Susquehanna takes care of me, and I take care of them. So the biggest thing is whether I'm behind the stage at an elite event or at home on the water shooting stuff, it's just, you just got to do constant promotion, build your brand with and through your sponsors and yourself. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, we've got some really talented anglers over on the kayak side. You probably learned that by now, but
you do.
I feel like a lot of them struggle on the promotion side. They just have a lot to learn. There's nowhere to learn it, right? There's no like book you can go get and learn how to do it. You got to figure it out.
There's not. It's kind of funny. I've seen it on the Elite Series side. I've seen it everywhere. Sometimes you have guys that are extremely talented when it comes to fishing, but the aspect of sponsorship is not even in their vocabulary. It's not even there. Some of them guys, if you're one of them guys and you're just gun-ho on just catching fish and that's all you want to do, I'd recommend don't change it, honestly, because I think a lot of guys that have crossed over and changed, I think it messed up their fishing. But for the guys that want to do both sides of it, which here in the future, who knows, 5-10 years from now, how big this kayak stuff's going to get, that's gonna support you or your family if this is what you want to do. So now's a great time. Now's a better time than ever to really get your foot in the door of these companies and start building brands.
Yeah, what's the quote, Jordan? We're in our infancy. Is that what everybody says?
Yes, we're in our infancy. We've just been kayak fishing for 10 years. That's all the kayak tournaments that have been actually legitimately meet up happening. So, I mean, you start comparing it. I mean, there's been like 50 classics. I mean, we're behind.
Yeah. Well, having the platform now with Bassmaster, that's going to carry a lot of weight. That's going to go really far. Steve Owens is doing an extremely good job. All you guys know that. So I think now's the time. Like, this is it. Like, if you're going to do it and you want to get in there, there's probably never been a better time. And here in 2023, there's not many opportunities, but I can tell you right now is one of them.
Yeah. Yep. You buy low, sell high. It's time to get in on the
Exactly.
small end. It seems big to us that have been around Jordan for a while. It probably seems like it's gotten pretty big, but it's got so much further to go.
Yeah.
So much
yeah.
further to go. Got some more questions coming here. Oh, we've got a few people asking about your kayak, Greg. Can we get a rundown of your kayak? And then someone else asked about the rod storage on your kayak. You've seen pictures, very interested. When we had John before, you kind of talked about that. Have you refined that at all? You want to go over your setup there?
The only thing I have changed, now there's going to be changes again, but the only thing I have changed since our first podcast together, Right Height actually came out with a kayak turret. It's a shorter version of the bass boat one. That is on there now. It comes with a bracket to pull in and out of the water now. Before I made my own, now there's one that Right Height sells. So that changed on my kayak. But going into the Susquehanna tournament, I'm going to completely redo the kayak because I need more power.
Oh, what are we doing? We gonna put something on the back?
Can't tell you yet.
Oh,
Secret.
Yeah, it's going to be something you've probably never seen before.
really?
Yes.
Oh, is there gonna be some vid after? You gonna do the little video production of the build?
Yeah, I'm going to do something for sure.
You gonna put like a jet drive on there, like the guides have up there?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, can you skip it across the water? Yeah, so I think I told you guys before. My brother Justin, he is really big into, not really big, it's what he does full time. He's a cabinet maker and he does all kind of fine furniture. So we call his shop the Splinter Lab. So when I get home and I have these ideas, that's where my kayak's at. It's sitting in the Splinter Lab right now, getting ready to be worked on.
I love it. That's the other cool thing about kayak fishing that you learned right away. It's a hunk of plastic, so the ideas are almost endless to mess with it and DIY it, right?
Yeah, we got to stay within the rules, but which we are. But yes, yep.
Yeah, you can do like Jordan, just never clean it and let that be its own form of camouflage, right? Right, Jordan?
Man, you don't wash off mojo, dog. You don't want to wash off the good mojo.
I think he's right.
I love that.
Yep.
I've got some more questions coming in. Here's one from Steven. And you may have mentioned this when we talked to you after the Gunnersville win. What advice would you give yak anglers on setting up for the hook set? I've lost a ton of fish my first year in a kayak. I'd love to hear your take on this.
Yeah, so the first thing I was always told from some of the kayak guys is go to braid. My rule of thumb with braid hasn't changed. Only throw braid when you have to. I'm not one to, with bait casters, I'm not one to go braid to fluoro on a bait caster. I never have, never probably will be. A spinning rod, yes. The biggest thing I tell you is beef up your equipment a little bit more, heavier rod. That's what I did on the Mississippi River. I went heavier than I did in the bass boat and hooked them all because I was losing in practice.
Have you used that trick again with your spot lock?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Yeah, that kind of leveraged that autopilot. Go over that a little bit for folks that may have that bow-mounted trolling motor.
Yeah, so for me on Gunnersville is where it played the biggest role this past year. So I run an Old Town 136 that's got autopilot on it. I also have a shallow water anchor on the back, mini power pole. I was fishing these 3 drains, but if I go into it, let's say I was spot locked on the spot and I'd catch a fish, even on spot lock, the kayak was still swaying and being pulled all over the place, fighting the fish on the way in. So what I did was I anchored the pole down. I was in 4 or 5 feet of water. I anchored the pole down in the back, locked it in. I put the trolling motor on the heading sensor, just straight forward where I was facing it on constant on like 2 or 3 I had it on. And that locked the kayak. So when a fish started to pull, the heading sensor corrected it again and just kept it nice and straight. It allowed me to fish the stuff without being pulled over the place.
Yeah, that was a genius move. I'd never heard of something like that, but once I heard it, it made perfect sense.
Yep.
Made perfect sense.
Works really good.
Yeah, we got another Twitcher in the comment. Jordan, we're big on the Twitch now. We got the Twitch streamers, the gamers over there. They're watching us now.
Fancy. I don't even know what Twitch is, to be quite
Lambert
honest.
doesn't either. Lambert, I don't think they have it in Tennessee.
Apparently not. I have no idea. Is that what they play the video games on?
Yes, it is. It is. But they also have other stuff there now, including us.
Like kayak podcasts.
That's right. Hey, when you start going live, we told people earlier today you're gonna start doing a live stream now and then on Wednesdays as well. So you can choose Twitch as an option.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I got to get a little more familiar with the system. As you could tell, I tried to mute my mic a second ago and disappeared my entire self off of here. That's Edward Scissorhands with the controls still.
Hey, look, you're starting at a much better place than when we started this whole deal. So you're good. You're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're long from the days of phones propped up against like salt pepper shakers and using Skype and Zoom and everything else. We're much further down the road.
Yeah.
Doing better.
I got a cool guest this week coming on too. I'm excited about that.
Who is it? Is it a secret?
He's a long-haired hippie from Indiana that fished the Tennessee Trail this year that I think most people would get a kick out of.
All right, that'll be fun. That'll be a good one. I've got some more comments to get to over here. I was going to save this one, but it's been sitting on it for a little bit. JL Scott asked, looking forward to Susquehanna next month. What are your thoughts on the Susky in October? Then we can get into that Kayak KOY race because that's really what's going to play out there.
Yeah, the Susquehanna is going to come down to the river height, I think, for a lot of it. That's a big factor there, whether we get a lot of rain or no rain. That's a big deal. I think the fishing wise, it should be really good, depending again on the conditions. It's going to take 95 to 100 inches a day to win it.
95 to 100 a day.
95 to 100.
I know that's a big gap, but it depends on how the river height is and how grouped up they are.
You going to that one, Jordan?
I am. I'm quite excited about that, actually. I've always wanted to hear excuse me. I've always wanted to go to Susquehanna in the fall. You always hear those stories about how crazy it is, and yeah, it's going to line up pretty nicely for it. I'm excited. 95 to 100 just got me excited. I wasn't, I don't know what I was thinking him to say, but I just it kind of landed home.
There's not a lot, but yes, there is a lot. So I fished it a lot in the wintertime. And in the wintertime, a lot of them fish get extremely grouped up because there's only so many deep holes. And when I had been there in the wintertime, I had the best I ever had was probably 200 fish in one day myself. But they were all giants. I mean, all of them were. And I've had a lot of really big fish here and there. It's like until they really group up on that river, a lot of them are hard to find, but you can usually catch, if you know what you're doing, 4 to 5 of them big ones every day.
Are you more spring Susquehanna fancy or fall Susquehanna fancy?
I'm fancy wintertime. Like
okay.
December, January. Yeah.
So we had the winner of the Native No Limit event on from Susquehanna that was in early August there, I believe. And he believed that if that event was in the fall, it's a no limit event, 14-inch minimum, that he could have broke 1,000 inches. And from you just saying you've caught 200 fish before in a day in the fall, it sounds like that's possible.
I've caught 100 a lot. I've caught 100 fish there more times than not.
Wow.
When I've been there in the wintertime. But like I said, they're in the wintering holes. So it's like you throw the jerkbait out there, you jerk it down one time, there's already one on it. It's like that all day long. It's stupid. But
Jordan,
I don't know what to say. It's rare that I'm speechless. I got excited. I got so excited I quit talking.
I saw it tough one time. We caught 30. So it's going to be good. I would say so. But if it floods out or something stupid happens, which happens a lot in October, then things could change. If it gets flooded, it could have to be moved. I mean, they can get to the point where they can't have it. I've seen that happen too down there.
Yeah, somebody was asking about Jim over on YouTube. What is the difference in the section Hobie fishes and where bass will fish? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't
Bass is upriver. I mean, outside of just the individual, like I haven't been on some of the section that bass is included. I'm fairly familiar with all the Hobie section. Basically, bass is cut about half of what the Hobie had and then shifted it up and then took both of the arms above the Sunbury Dam. As far as how that fishes, I don't know, but as far as the differences in the boundaries, that's the difference.
Yeah, I don't know where the Hobie event went out of, but I mean, I've been high on the river and low, and it's honestly all pretty good.
Elvis asked, what's the odds of Marshall going to the Susky and having a lacrosse experience?
I promise you there is a 0% chance that there's a lacrosse experience at Susquehanna. Susquehanna treats me good on and off the water. Lacrosse has not done either one at the couple times I've been up there, but I like Susky. It's a cheat code for a fishery.
Corey Whitechurch says Megabass 110 is going to be the winning lure. Sounds like some kind of jerkbait's going to play for sure.
It could be, but
yeah.
It might be. It's great. Don't get me wrong there, but we'll see. It could be a little bit early. There's going to be some other baits that play really well.
So with that said, man, I mean, that's going to be the one that determines the AOI. It's a tight race. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you in the top 4 all have 3 events.
Mm-hmm.
This will be your 4th. coming in. So there's a lot of moving that can happen, because there is a drop available for you guys. What are you looking at? What do you think it's going to take what kind of gaps it's going to take to overtake Russ and Nick, who are just only a few points ahead of you?
I feel like I have to win. That's how I feel.
It sounds like me going into the end of an event.
I mean,
I just want to win everything.
Put it this way: if I win and they beat me, there's nothing else I could have possibly did. Right?
Yeah,
right.
100%.
So if I leave the door open, then it's on me.
Fair enough. And looking at that AOI, I love it. You've got Tennessee, Alabama, New Jersey, Nebraska, Ohio.
All over.
That's a diverse top five right there. And I didn't even realize my man Marty Hughes was up there in the top five. Killing it this year.
That says a lot about them guys. They're that versatile. I mean, them guys are from places that don't even see some of the water we fished.
Yeah, we got several Ohio guys. We got an Arkansas guy in the top 10. Very diverse stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of speaks to the depth of field.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so 290 to 100 a day. So you're saying 190-ish probably to take it?
Yeah, that's
195.
Yeah. I mean, you typically on that river, so there's no keeping fish on that river. It's all MLF style tournaments if there's tournaments there, or kayak style where you measure it. Typically, the guys that weigh fish there, you catch 19 pounds, you're pretty much going to win a lot of stuff. You catch 20 a day, you're probably going to win every tournament there. The fish there a lot of times don't get long; they're just really fat. So a 4.5 pounder, there's probably like 20.5 inches to give you an idea.
Responding to some comments here. Make sure we're doing a like and share contest for a Yak Addicts giveaway tonight. We're doing a hat just like this one and a Yak Addicts shirt. So make sure you like and share on Facebook and do the like and comment on YouTube and Twitch. So you get involved in that. Any more questions for Greg? Get them in there and we'll read them to him. We've got a few to still get to that I saved from earlier. Chris over on YouTube asked, do you think Bass will eventually allow 2 motors on a kayak?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, yeah, that'd be cool if they did. It would make it real easy for me right now, honestly. I don't know. I know you can run, as long as it's mounted on one bracket, you could run 2 separate, 2 motors on one bracket, I guess, according to the rules. But I don't know. I'm not in it long enough to tell you what the rules should be changed to. I just don't know.
Jordan, what do you think about that?
If it makes you feel any better, half the time I don't know what the rules are of what I'm fishing because I'm terrible about reading that. But yeah, you get them mixed up. You start placing hands on fish they don't need to. You get fish DQ'd. It's a blur sometimes. But I think it would be if there's multiple motors involved, that kind of brings a lot more. If you're willing to put 2 motors and pay for 2 motors on a kayak, that kind of brings a lot of different kayaks kind of the top tier of what you can do if you're willing to put the money and the time to rig those up. Throughout a long time, as we've been doing this, it's always kind of been, before there were motors, in my opinion, Hobie was kind of set above everything else. And as motors have kind of become, more and more common, you've got, kayaks like, I got outran at Pickwick last year by a new canoe that had the same motor I had on there. And I would have traded my Hobie for that new canoe in a heartbeat for that event because we were both going to the same spot. And I got beat by like 30 minutes to a spot because we covered like 6 miles. So, different situations for adding motors and different holes and things like that. And especially with 2 motors, you could have, an NK300 cover a bunch of water and get there and put spot lock on the front of it and throw it up there and, do whatever you want to. And it kind of just adds another fold to what you can do. And I'm all for it. I don't, I'm not a technology limiting guy. I don't use it, but I want everybody to have it and just fish however you want to,
Yeah, I'm with that. That makes sense.
Yeah. We've had this conversation before. Somebody asked in the comments, will Hobie allow 1 motor as a follow-up to the Bass allowing 2? I don't know about that, but a lot of people say they'd rather have kayak fishing remain more manpower and things like that. But most of the people get into the sport, and I've said it before, they're fishermen, not kayakers. They don't really care about the kayak aspect as much. They think it's cool to fish out of a small craft, but they're not, worried about the specs of a kayak and how to paddle correctly or anything like that. They want to fish. And if a motor's going to help them fish or whatever, that's what they want to do.
I remember back in the day at a tournament, we used to all launch at one boat ramp and fish from one boat ramp and catch a few fish and come back. And I was in my Jackson Coosa, or OG Jackson Coosa, not an X, not an HD back in the day. And I used to see somebody with a Hobie and be like, man, that ain't right. We shouldn't have foot pedals on kayaks. This is a paddle sport. And that's fine and dandy. There's still, the Bare Bones group here in Knoxville that, there are no foot drives, no pedal drives, anything like that. And, there's a place for all of that, but it's, funny as time has went on and more people get pedals, and that's the cool thing. And then more and more people get motors, and that's the common thing. And, it's cool to look back and see how all that's kind of gathered steam as we went along.
Yeah. I'm with you, Jordan. I turned my nose up at all that stuff when I first started years and years ago. That's when I was in good shape and stuff. And I was like, we should all be paddling. This is ridiculous. And
you turn your nose up until you get in one, and then it's like, all right, yeah, forget you guys. I paid my money. I want it now.
Yeah, right. It's funny. We had somebody ask about forward facing sonar. I'm not going to ask him that same question again, but go back and listen to the audio podcast or watch the replay, because at the beginning we got into that about forward facing sonar and stuff. We're not going to rehash that, but there is one more question about it. Elvis asked, do you think it could help on the Susquehanna?
Yes, I do. I would say 99% of the field is not going to be using it, but if somebody figures out something, the majority of the river is really shallow, very hard to use. Like I said, it's in a lot of current. A lot of the smallmouth are sucked to the bottom. You can't see them. But there's some areas where you could possibly use it, yes.
All right. Let's see. Going over to Facebook, Tyler, that's our local AOY leader, Jordan, over here in Northwest Arkansas. Tyler Zingerly. Would he participate if Bass or any Pro Show had $500 entry fees? I guess the answer to that, I'm going to answer for you, would probably be yes, since your entry fees are so much higher. That doesn't seem like much. But the question really is, could kayak fishing sustain a higher entry fee trail, do you think?
Yeah, I think 100% they can, without a doubt. Like I told a lot of people, like, guys, you know, all the guys I fish against go fish BFLs. They pay the same entry fee we pay, $250, but on top of that, they're only winning 4,000 or 5,000 max. You guys have no overhead, same entry fee, and are winning a lot more. So I think it's there. I think Bassmaster could get a 500 no problem. I think they'll fill the field the same way they are now. I really do.
Yeah, and one thing I know Jordan's talked about this many times. Could we ever get people to set a schedule and prepay for the season?
Why not? I don't see a problem with that.
Would you like to see that, Jordan?
I would, and that to me is the point where this kind of takes another jump. I think that's in the evolution of the sport. I think that's kind of the next jump that we're kind of lingering and poking around. Hobie almost did that this year with paying up front for the guys that went to the TOC, and the following year. I think we're on the cusp of that, and I think that's going to make a big difference, at least in my mind, of being able to fish against a set group of guys for a whole year and not just showing up to different places and kind of getting scalped by locals. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I scalp a lot of tournaments around here. You know what I mean? I ain't against that. But if you want to have a set trail and talk AOI points, I think that makes a big difference if you're fishing against the same people all year.
Yeah, don't y'all think that the next evolution in kayak fishing anyway is enhanced media coverage somehow? And it'd be much easier to do that if you had a set field.
I was going to say that. So, once you cross over to the media side, that's when you're going to start taking dollars out of the payouts. Things are going to change a little bit depending on how well Bassmaster Kayak side can get sponsorship. There's positives and negatives to growing for sure. But, be prepared for that. The entry fees might go up and maybe the payouts won't be as good as they are now. They'll be higher, but what they're giving back now might change a little bit. There's going to be changes. I think some guys might groan about, but at the end of the day, it's all for growth. And I think a lot of guys got to understand that people see payouts and they go back and add them all up, but they don't think about all the stuff that these organizations are putting in to get to that point. I mean, it's a ton.
Yeah. We had a joke going a week or two ago. Jordan knows all about it. There's on Tourney X, there's a tip jar option basically to tip tournament directors. we made a big joke out of it, but tournaments are a lot of work, and
Oh.
there's a lot of costs involved, not just in small tournaments, but especially in the larger tournaments. There's a lot of costs and a lot of work that goes in. So
There is, and I say it.
yeah, there's gonna be money come out somewhere. That's not free and volunteer dollars.
Yeah, you're right.
This is an interesting question from Chris. Has there been any off limits conflicts during your elite series versus your kayaks? Trying to practice for either or, having to watch out with crossovers for conflicts.
No, there hasn't been this year. No.
Does it look like we don't have the Bassmaster Kayak Series scheduled for next year, but
yeah,
did they even fish any of the same lakes this year? I don't think they did they?
No. I mean, the conflict I had was just with Sabine as far as the same time.
Right.
But that was it. Otherwise, no off limits con. No, nothing.
Calvin on YouTube asked, which lakes do you prefer on the kayak side? I guess this is their 1 year efficiency. You'll have four cracks at it, but maybe the better way to ask that is, what lakes would you prefer to see pop up on the kayak side? You've been into a ton of different places in the boat.
They're doing great. I mean, for the first year for me fishing this, I thought the schedule was awesome. So far, they pretty much hit everywhere's at a great time. Hartwell, they were spawning. Gunnersville, they were pre-spawn. Mississippi River was awesome. They were freaking chewing better than I've ever seen on top. They're the 3 I fished, and the Susquehanna is probably going to be just as good. They did really good this year. The schedule was phenomenal. Anything additional? Maybe a smallmouth tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Mark over on Facebook, Big Worm. What elite guy could be the next to jump into a kayak tournament or fish a schedule like you think? Have you heard anybody talk to you about it?
I would say Carl Jockerson. He would be the one, if I had to guess.
That makes sense. He's been a Hobie guy for a while. So.
Yep. Or maybe in Polnick. He dabbles in kayak too.
Yeah, he's an old town feller over there.
I like to see Polnick. That's an OG road dog right there.
True that.
Yeah, that's a sleep in your truck. Kind of make it that way, isn't it, Jordan?
Yep.
One of my good friends actually met Polnick years and years ago, sleeping in his truck at a boat ramp, like the biggest boat ramp here in town. He was just practicing for a tournament, like a local charity tournament that he just happened to find online or something, and was just hanging out in Knoxville, Tennessee, just fishing. I always thought that was cool.
Do we have any kayak anglers like that hail from places you don't like? He's from way up in Idaho. You know what I mean? That's not exactly bass fishing heaven. They come fish the kayak trails. I guess I can't really think of. I mean, Greg's from New Jersey. I guess that's not exactly.
There used to be a guy from Maine that used to come and fish our events quite a bit. I can't think of. There's quite a few up there now, but I know Keith Freeze, local guy. The first time I ever met him was at a KBF National Championship at Kentucky Lake. He was from Oregon. Drove down for that.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Fraze.
Yeah, Sherwood just said in the comments, Canada. We do have the Canadians that come down. Nate Conley and the fellas come down. So
I think we actually have I think this year, I'm not sure how many he fished, but he was an elite series guy for a few years. Mark Kyle, I think he fished Gunnersville and a couple of other events this year. Actually, he's from Arizona, California area.
I think did he win Big Fish at an event or something? I feel like
he could have.
I feel like I talked to him or heard that story at a meeting.
Yeah.
Sherwood wasn't mentioning those guys from Canada. He's saying he's from Canada. So you're from like Utah now. So I don't want to hear it. Wherever your resort is, that's where you're from. Todd said Kenny Hood from Colorado. Okay. Naming some people. Another YouTube question is Greg looking forward to Wheeler and Smith next season? So
I've never been to Smith. I've been to Wheeler one time, but that was before I even knew anything about bass fishing. I just showed up and fished. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the schedule. I mean, every year, like I said, there's always a lot. I've never been to Toledo. That's going to be new for me. Smith is new. I'm going to say Wheeler's new just because it's been so long since I've been there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of them. I mean, they're so much fun going to these places I've never been before, for what it's worth. I mean, I always go out and pre-practice, so I'm going to go there and look around.
Sherwood just called me a bad word in the comments, Jordan. It's New Mexico. His resort is in New Mexico, the finest ski resort in these United States of America. Please go there.
I don't think of ski resorts when I think of New Mexico. I'm sorry, Sherwood. That was not on my radar of what he
Rocky
was
Mountains,
expecting.
man. The Rocky Mountains poking their nose down in there, I believe.
I guess the end.
Yeah,
maybe like a sand dune resort or something in New Mexico.
No, real talk. I follow his stuff on. I've never been skiing in my life, but his stuff looks amazing over there. So go to Sherwood's page and get the info, get the juice. Josh on YouTube, will Greg fish any BOS events? Have you considered it?
Yes, I wanted to fish Cayuga this year for the one Hobie event they had there, but I did not. Ended up where I came home. I was in tizzy for time, and I just ended up not doing it. I do have a pedal drive here also. I was prepared to do it, but I just never got around to doing it.
Cayuga was fun, man.
I know how fun Cayuga is. It's one of the best places we have up here. Yep.
We got more comments coming in. Jordan, you're hitting the stars too. I forget you got the access to that. You're starring them up too.
Yeah, I'm learning now. I got one
thing.
that I like here. The from YouTube. This I don't know if this is coming up soon, but this guy says Bass will eventually have opens to get to an elite kayak series the following year. I think that would be really cool, but I think we are a long way away from that. But that is a good concept. I mean, I would like to see it get to that eventually. That would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, we had a few talks about that on here, Jordan. Like, if that was an option, even if it was the higher entry fee thing, how many do you legit think would be able to do it, would be able to pull it off? Because a lot of these tournaments are mixed bags of, you got the same core group going to them, and then you have, 40 guys from that regional show up for one or two events, and then the next event it's the same thing. So
that first event, the reason that was fresh on the brain is our first event in Texas this year was man, it was like more than half the field was from Texas alone. Just not counting the guys from Louisiana, but just from Texas, because I was looking through some of the state statistics and things of that nature. It was a bunch of people from Texas to that first event.
Yeah, for sure. One more question on Facebook. We're not going to keep Greg too long. We're getting up against the hour here. Levi from my neck of the woods over here in Northwest Arkansas. Can you give us a crazy co-angler story? This is what's Greg's craziest co-angler story? Feels like every pro has one that's hilarious or mind-blowing.
Craziest, man. I gotta think. It's been a while. I've had co-angler in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I made a really long run on Champlain one time down the Ticonderoga, and the co-angler I had that tournament, we get all the way there. I tell him, like, we're idling this long shoot to go where we were, and I get all the way there. I finally get set up. He goes, dude, I have to go to the bathroom. I said, bro, we just idled through all this stuff. You didn't want to tell me and pull over. I said, here's TP. I said, go out of the back of the boat. So he goes out of the back of the boat. And, I told him, I said, I won't listen. He was kind of embarrassed. I said, I won't listen. I said, do your thing. So he stands up, does his thing, starts fishing. I almost won the open. I fished there. He didn't have anything. And I actually gave him the baits that I was throwing. He won the tournament on the co-angler side.
Took a dump on the back of your boat and
good luck.
Yeah. So do you do that every time from good luck now? Just
oh yeah. Oh, I hang her hard.
Amazing. Amazing. Jordan, you got anything else for Greg?
I think I'm good. I will see you at Susquehanna. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we win, there'll be an after party, so make sure you're part of it.
I find my way to those sorts of events frequently, it seems.
No doubt.
Invited or not, Jordan will be there. He'll find his way.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, good luck the rest of the season, man. I hope you close out the AOI. I think it'd be cool to see an Elite Series guy come in there and take it. So appreciate your time tonight and good luck over at Susky.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And, anytime you guys need me to come on, let me know. And Jordan, I'll see you there, buddy.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
There we go. Greg Dipalma, everybody. How about that? He's a true blue kayak angler, man. I can tell he's 100% into it. It's obviously not a gimmick because he's doing damage out there. So what do you think? What did you think when you heard he was going to fish it, and now that you've seen him do it, the results that he's had?
Honestly, when bass boat guys come in, the first thought is, they're going to overestimate this. They're going to not do so well. And I'm not mad if they don't do so well because, part of it is, it's good to have the exposure to the sport. And part of it is, man, I hope these guys don't do too well and make us look bad at first. And, for Greg to win that first event down at Gunnersville, I was like, oh man, I was like, this is, I feel goofy after this first one. And, you know, the fact that he's fighting, but he's taking it serious and, going at it the right way. I don't have any, concerns. I'm glad he's doing it the right way. He's having fun doing it, and I'm all for it. I love the competition myself. I hope more and more guys. I love fishing against Ike, fished against Jordan Lee in the native event a couple weeks ago. Love that. Fished against Greg and I fished against him again. That's I'm all for it. I like having the guys show up and fish against them. It's going to make all of us better. It's going to have more exposure for the sport. It's win-win.
It seems like maybe I'm crazy that it would be almost easier or better to do, if you're an Elite Series guy, to do this in the kayak opens as opposed to this in the boat opens. Like the ROI would be negligible, maybe a better chance at cashing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fine line. Then again, you start looking at, the qualifications and things of that. If you're just, trying to stay on the Elite Series, I mean, at the end of the day, this is our opens or our highest level of competition. So there's nothing to qualify for other than the Kayak Classic. And, at the end of the day, the Bass Boat, Boat Classic still holds a lot more weight than the kayak version. That's just the nature of the beast.
Sure. Yeah. I just mean for a simple ROI perspective. I mean, it costs a lot to drive cross country to fish something. If you're already qualified, what I mean, if you already have that in the bank, why not go fish for kayak tournaments?
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Yeah. I don't know. So we're doing the Yak Addicts giveaway. Hashtag Yak Addicts in the comments to win. Yeah. Have you been present for a giveaway? It's always fun to see who gets slow rolled at the end. There's always one name that pauses.
I've never been present for a giveaway.
Yeah. So it'll pause and then boom, it goes to the winner. And we always think we have the winner. It's, breaks somebody's heart every time. It's good stuff. Jordan, do you use perspective mode? Do you see that?
I just saw that. I have not quite figured out the perspective mode on the live scope. I scope and I'm still hoping. They say if you're not scoping, you're hoping. I'm still hoping with the scoping. I'm if they're right and I can see them, I can catch them. But the problem is I still have trouble finding them. So at Gunnersville this past weekend, I was live scope and electronics free. This is my time of year. I like to fish shallow, but we'll get back to the giveaway. I think that was the last question.
Yeah. Is scoping and hoping similar to spraying and praying like they talk about on the Twitch over there?
Oh yeah, it's all the same. I've done my fair share of spraying and praying on the Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you know about the Twitch then. You're all about the Twitch.
I ain't Twitch, but I like to play it on my phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, spraying and praying. That's kind of how I fish too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Casting and blasting.
All right, we're about to hit this giveaway. We've got almost 90 people watching live, but we only have 49 entries. So I don't know what y'all are doing. Hit that hashtag. Hit that hashtag over there.
Hashtag Yak Addicts.
As soon as we hit 50, I'm hitting that button, Jordan. There's one more.
There's a bunch of those. There actually looks like a lot more of that, or I just wasn't paying attention to when they were coming in.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like more than 50, but we got 50. We're doing it. We're drawing. Here we go. The suspension, baby. The suspension.
Drum roll.
Who's getting slow rolled tonight? Boom. Jesse England. Sorry, buddy. You got rolled. Chris Kirkpatrick on YouTube. You are the winner. Kayak Bass Nation at gmail.com. Or just shoot us a message on Facebook or something. We'll get you the package. And there's a few people that have won stuff here recently that we've had some trouble getting, like your Z-Man and Seaguar pack out to. We're working on that. Don't give up on us. We're going to get it there. I like it with we do the Revo giveaways. We literally just hand them a code and they can order straight off the website. But with the others, we have to get the company to send a package. So we had to go to the 2 or 3 people. It takes a little bit. So hang in there with us. But we'll get you this Yak Addict pack. Yak Addicts pack. Ryan handles that, so he'll get that straight out the house. Straight out the house.
We're getting rigged comments in the comments
every time.
Cameron Gowan, I'm watching you, Cameron.
You're not dissed, Burn. We're gonna get you there. Yeah, Joe Mack, we looking like KBF on these giveaways. It's bad. We gotta get these payouts done. Yeah, I'll send you. If it delays anymore, I'll send you some shit out of my garage. We'll make it happen.
Oof.
Yeah. But Jordan,
elections.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you sliding in here like that. That was cool.
Yes, sir. Anything for the nation, baby. Anything for the nation.
Yeah. Road Dog in episode 3 coming soon.
Probably record that tomorrow.
There we go. All right. We're out of here, guys. Go watch some football.